As a child, we do these things, especially when we're around the age of like 5 and 6, which when we think back on them, go, why was I so picky? Why was I like that? An interesting thing is that a lot of these things, which we did as children, happened right before we went to bed. Why was this? Was it because bedtime was sort of a vulnerable time when we didn't really understand what was going on? All we knew is that we closed our eyes 1 second and the next second we woke up and it was the morning. So I thought about this and I texted my mom and I asked her about some things that I used to do as a little girl, the things that I do drastically different now. One of these things would be every night before I went to bed, the lights would be off. I was supposed to be sleeping. I would scream, "Mom!" Even though she was all the way across the house, really had no reason to get up and come see what I wanted. She would come and I would say, "Can you get me a glass of water?" Now, this glass of water was very specific. It couldn't be from the tap and it had to have ice in it. Another thing that I used to do was that I always have to have the door open. Now, as an adult, I can't have the door open. I can't have any sort of light streaming into my room. I have this habit nowadays where I have to sleep with a blanket over my face because one, I've gotten so into the habit that if I don't have a blanket over my face, it's like, I don't know what's happening and I can't fall asleep. And the other reason is because it blocks out all the light. But as a kid, you feel comforted by the light that's coming through your open door. I also used to always listen to the radio or music when I was going to bed. Now, I can't have any sound whatsoever. I can't have any light. I can't have any sound. I remember that I used to listen to a radio station, one of the Christian stations from where I lived, and they would always play Odyssey of the Mind. It was this talk show that was hosted out of Colorado Springs, Colorado. And to be honest, I can't even remember what they talked about now. I think it was like family issues or something. But I always had to listen to something. When I was really little, it was like nursery rhymes. When I got bigger, it was the music or the talking that was on the radio. What got me into the habit of covering my face was this. Ta-da! When I asked my mom what I used to do, she couldn't really remember anything, but the one thing she could remember was pink. I had pink and I had white. Unfortunately, white is, I do not know where white is. When you're little, you have to have these comforting things. You have to have a glass of water before bed. You have to have the door open, music playing or talking, and something to cuddle up to where you feel secure and safe. But as you grow up, you don't need these things to feel secure and safe. And you think back and you go, wow, it's crazy how people grow up and change. These are just some things that it's fun to think back on, and it's actually fun to be able to record them and be like, oh, when I'm old and like 90 years old and I'm like, what did I used to do when I was a little kid? I couldn't think of anything else that I used to do, but I think little things like this are universally just what children do. They have specific things which they have to do every night. It's what humans do. We have to have routines. See you guys next time. Do you like my camera? It's not mine. It's my school's, but I'm gonna try to rent one every now and then so that I can record on a nice camera so you can see my face.